Hello and welcome. It's your main math man, Mr. Lyons, and we're on page 114, but you already knew that because you're reading my slides, all right? So, Company X sold this many tickets. Company Y sold this many tickets. How do the number of tickets in these companies compare in size? Well, first of all, we know which company sold more. Which company sold more, right? That's right. Company Y sold more. You can tell by looking at the power of 10. This is a bigger number than this number, even though the leading factors are bigger here. Powers of 10 are bigger. That's one extra place value. Now let's use our strategies here, right? So company Y sold more, so I'm going to give it a nice big number. Let's give it, 100, right? And company X sold less than that, so let's give it another number, let's say 50, right? So how do the number of tickets compare in size? Well, you can say company X sold 50 less, company Y sold 50 more, but we're talking about how many times greater, right? And so we actually don't have a question here that gives us the order, but where can we look for if we want to find out the order? Not in our question. It's actually saying it in our answer choices. Which company comes first in our answer choices? That's right, company X. So we're going to say company X over, I don't know why it says operation here. We know we're going to be dividing because we're figuring out how many times larger something is compared to company Y, right? And so if I'm using my easy number strategy, company X is 50, company Y is 100 tickets. We can reduce this. What's 50 over 100 reduce? Right? Just to show you the work real quick, divide by 50. It's going to be 1 over, right? In that case, company X sold half the tickets. All right, we know we're doing division here. Company X sold half the tickets of company Y. Company X sold half the tickets of company Y, right? And look at their answer, 1/2 here. But why is B not our answer just quite yet? That's right, because this was just an example for our easy number strategy. Now we're actually going to use and do the math. I'm going to do company X over company Y. Let's do the actual numbers here. This is going to be 8 times 10 to the 5th power over what? 4 times 10 to the 6th power, right? 8 divided by 4 is going to give me, let me use my other color, 2 times, what is this? What rule am I using here? The product rule or the quotient rule? I'm dividing. I'm using the quotient rule. 5 minus 6 is going to give me -1. That's right. But I don't see 2 times 10 to the -1 power here. Right? Some kids will immediately say 2 and say, oh, 1/2. Well, no, let's take a look at what this number actually means. All right, 2.0. I want to turn this into standard form here because all these numbers are in standard form. So I'm going to add 1, which means I'm going to take away 1 here, right? Because 10 to the 0th power is just 1. 0.20 is what I'm looking for here, right? But I don't see 0.20. So first of all, I can immediately eliminate which choice? A. Company X did not sell twice as many as anything. Company X actually sold less. So what about 0.20? What is 0.20 as a fraction? Because I don't see fractions here. Well, 0.20, that's 20 over what? This is 20 hundredths. Divide by 20, divide by 20. It's going to give me 1 over 5. Company X sold 1/5 the number of tickets that company Y sold, right? So if you don't see the order in the question, look at the answer choices and it should give you the order, right? What number goes in the blank? Compare these two amounts. We're on example 3 right now. I'm just going to take a look at this. So we have a blank times the scientific notation equals something. Well, let me ask you this. What would you do if I said blank times 5 equals 20? Well, in 8th grade, we don't put blanks here, right? Back in the day, you would do the question mark times something. We don't use blanks if we don't know a value. What do we use when we don't know the value of something in math? That's right. We use a variable, right? This is x times 5 equals 20, right? X times 5 is 5x equals 20. And you would know how to isolate x there, right? So use the same strategy here, using that method that we just used. Like this is just because you see scientific notation, don't get shook up, y'all. Use the patterns that you know. Instead of putting this blank here, I'm actually going to put a variable, x, right? We don't do blanks in 8th grade. We use variables up in this piece, right? So think about what we did here. If you feel confident, like, oh, I think I know what to do here, go ahead and do it, all right? So I'm going to rewrite this here. This is a scientific quantity, sorry. This is 4 times 10 to the 6th power times what? Times x equals 1 times 10 to the 8th power. Well, I want to figure out what the x is, what this blank is. So I have to isolate it, which means I'm going to do what on both sides of my equation? You already know the vibes. I'm going to divide by my scientific notation on both sides here, right? Because this is going to give me 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. Right? And what's going to be left here? This is, you could just put like times 1 times, there's just going to be x here, right? And now I'm going to just do this math. 1 divided by 4, I know 1/4, a quarter of anything is 0.25. And I know how to do this math because we did this just the other day, times 10 to the what? 2nd power, right? That's what x is equal to, but I don't see any of that here because all these numbers are not in scientific notation. They are in standard notation. So I'm going to take my 0.25. My leading factor is going to get bigger or is it going to get smaller? Times 10 to the 2nd power. It's going to get bigger by how many place values? By 2. 1, 2. 25. X is equal to 25. And look at that, 25. Do you see how they tried to trick you here? You see how they tried to trick you here? All right, be very careful. Be very careful. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I will check you later.